for a quick one before the service, Your Reverence.
Everything all right?
Yes, thanks, Harry.
You better get on with it.
Wait a minute.
Incident at St. Oswald's.
Where?
St. Oswald's, ETA required.
Okay, I'll be there in 12 minutes.
Keeping well, Lewis?
Hello, is it?
Nah. Who is he?
Mr. Joseph, sir.
Harry was church warden.
It's his wife outside.
We do.
Poor Brenda. Oughtn't we do? Could someone... please?
Always best to throw light on the scene if you can.
Well, Max?
One very fierce blow, death instantaneous.
What happened?
Well, nobody actually saw it, but...
It was right at the end of the service. Mr. Josephs had just brought the collection back here to the vestry.
There was, a tramp at the service. He even took communion.
I'll give you the phone number. Will you get in touch with him a moment?
Hello, Maddie. Over.
Hello?
Maddie, can you notify for me an elderly vagrant, Swan, I think his name is, Swan or Swanee. Sleeps rough, probably. Although he's got a few quid on him now, so he may be in a pub. Yeah, or check the off licenses. He's wearing an overcoat, but there was a hell of a lot of blood about, so he's probably ditched it. Out.
shall never understand these religious types.
That's because you have no soul, Morse.
If you were a vicar, would you slit open your letters with the cross of Christ?
It's pretty high, St. Austell. It's pretty spiky.
Well, that's what they mean by the beauty of holiness.
All finished, sir.
All right, thanks. Lewis, go through his pockets, will you? I'll go and get someone to identify him formally.
Just a minute, Lewis. Hold this for me. Close your eyes now.
I really don't think you should speak to Mrs. Josephs now. She's terribly shocked.
You knew Mr. Josephs, did you, madam?
Yes, of course.
I wonder if you and Mr. Morris, is it?
Yes?
I need 2 witnesses for formal identification. If you and Mrs.
Rawlinson. Ruth Rawlinson.
It wouldn't upset you too much, Mrs. Rawlinson, to...
No. I think I can manage it. And, by the way, it's Miss, not Mrs.
Thank you, miss. Lewis?
It's Harry Josephs.
Thank you, sir.
Is that all?
Yes, thank you. No, miss? Just a glance, just so long as you're sure who it is.
Yes. That's Harry Josephs.
Thank you very much, miss. I expect you'll want to go home now.
Would you like me to come with you?
No, I'm all right.
I'll look after her. Don't worry, Ruth. You all right? Are you?
Oh, yes. I'm fine.
I'll call you when I got Brenda home.
All seems pretty straightforward.
Straightforward, perhaps, but pretty. So sorry, I didn't realize that. Just a couple of things. I don't want to trouble you for long at a time like this. I was wondering, how many people were there at the service?
13.
And you don't know, or perhaps you do know, who they all were?
Oh, they could be witnesses, you mean? Oh, dear, I never thought. I just said that Mr. Josephs was ill, that the service was over, and then I ran to call an ambulance. I'm so sorry.
Never mind. We'll be able to trace them, I expect.
Well, I doubt if they could add very much, Inspector. They were all up in the Lady Chapel. I was the only one who saw anything.
And what did you see, exactly?
Not very much. It was more hearing, some sort of commotion. Then I saw the vestry curtains shaking, so I went to see what was happening, and
Did you see this man, Swanee, leaving the church?
Not exactly. I mean, it's quite dark down there. I saw someone. I suppose I just assumed that it was him.
13, that's not very many, is it, sir?
Oh, it's not bad for a special service.
And what was special about it?
It's the feast of the conversion of St. Augustine.
Yes, well, thank you very much, sir. I'll be in touch.
Yes. Of course.
Lewis.
Nasty for him, all this.
Nasty, Lewis, nasty.
And all for a measly few quid off the collection plate. If the bastard had only known.
Lewis, you're in church. Known what?
Joseph's had a couple of £100 in his trouser pocket.
Betting slips.
Get in line.
Oh, hello, Jimmy.
Oh, Vicar. How's tricks?
Seen anything of Swanee recently?
No. I've been to Brom's Grove.
Hello, Vicar.
Ah, Taffy, you're quite a pal of Swanee's, aren't you?
Might be, sir.
When did you last see him?
I don't know, sir. I don't know that I did see him, like. I don't know that I even know him, see?
Get him sobered up, see what he remembers.
Come on.
Many of our guests have found it helpful to follow the tour with guidebook in hand. Those cost £5.
Oh, you did give me a start.
I'm sorry. I'd like to talk to you if you've got a minute. Perhaps over a drink.
It's very kind of you, but I have to get home. I look after my mother, Inspector. She must have one hot meal a day, and she can't sleep if she eats at night, so...
I see.
Was it something urgent?
No. You're a regular at St. Oswald's, I take it.
I've been in the choir since I was 12. They'll give me a medal soon.
Because I like music, not church choirs so much, but...
Jazz. Humphrey Littleton, George Melly.
Music.
Shall we go?
You were a friend of the Josephs, weren't you? That's why you stayed after the service.
I'd have stayed anyway. It's my job to tidy up.
Oh, really?
I'm the church cleaner. Someone has to do it, and it's good for my soul. And yes, Brenda's one of my very best friends.
Well, look, it's not important, and I certainly don't want to pester Mrs. Josephs with it, but Mr. Josephs gambled, didn't he?
The church and the turf are old friends, you know.
And the land badly neglected. It became his life's work to restore the manor to its original glory.
But how could he afford it?
Oh.
I mean, he was unemployed, I understand, and Mrs. Josephs works as a nurse at the Radcliffe, yet he was gambling big sums. Does he have private money?
No.
The vicar didn't seem to want to discuss it. It's a very funny thing, but as soon as someone doesn't want to discuss something, I do.
Lionel would never speak ill of the dead. I would prefer not to, too.
I'm sure you would, but I'd rather not ask Mrs. Josephs.
Money was going missing from the collection. Nothing was ever proved. But as the church warden's responsible for counting it...
Thank you.
I think it's quite dreadful the way society just discards people when it no longer wants them. A man like that, a hero, just thrown on the scrap heap as though he was no use to anyone.
Was he a hero?
He was in the Marines. He felt trapped, so he gambled to make enough money to... But of course it never works like that. So he drank because he lost and... Well, he's free now. I don't know whether to be sad or happy.
Drinking as well?
He lost his license last year.
Perhaps you should be happy. If it's any consolation, he must have been quite happy yesterday. He had a couple of £100 on him. His last big win, I imagine.
I don't think anything will console me for Harry's death.
Morse. Oh, hello, Max. How are you? What? You sure? Good God. Well, thanks a lot, Max.
Still no sign of this Swanee, sir. But the old Welsh tramp says he thinks his name used to be Swan Paul.
The hell with that. Swanee, Swan Pole, he may have nothing to do with it. Josephs was probably dead before the knife went in.
What?
Max says there was enough morphine in his stomach to kill an elephant.
Yes, it was certainly meant to kill. A substantial dose.
In what form?
White powder. Morphine comes as white powder.
I mean, how did he take it?
By mouth.
Well, yes, but...
Oh, you mean in what form was it ingested?
Max...
Well, I can't, of course, be absolutely certain. So I'd venture the tentative opinion that the form was liquid. But not your sort. Wine, not beer.
How long would it have taken to affect him?
Oh, I couldn't possibly say. Not exactly.
Inexactly?
He'd be unconscious in somewhere between 40 and 50 seconds, depending on his constitution.
And to kill him?
6 minutes.
Does it mix easy, sir? Morphine and wine?
Now, that's what I call an intelligent question. You'd have to swizzle it up a bit, but yes, it soon disappears in wine. Want to see? I've got the contents of his stomach just through here.
Oh. How do you get morphine, Max?
I write myself a prescription and go to Boots.
Must have been during the service.
Thank you, Lewis. I hadn't got that far.
What I don't understand is why anybody should want to kill him twice. Do you think it was some sort of ritual?
All church services are rituals, Lewis.
Yeah, but I mean like a black mass. There's a big piece in the Sunday papers about black masses.
Oh, yes. You think the Reverend Lionel Paulham was indulging in orgies on the altar with Miss Rawlinson and Mrs. Josephs? Of course, he may not have been killed twice.
But he was.
I mean, by the same person.
One person slipped him the morphine, you mean, and another stabbed him? Acting separately?
Possibly. Left hand not knowing what the right was doing.
Not pretty long odds, sir.
Very long odds.
Oh, you can win if you're professional enough about it. I knew a bloke
Josephs
once.
was an amateur.
Five pounder with a favourite, though.
Where are those places?
Thank you.
Excuse me, miss. Routine inquiry. You wouldn't remember the man who wrote these out, would you? Aged about 45.
It's Harry. Harry Josephs. He's in here all the time. What about him?
He's met with an accident.
Oh, dear. Poor Harry. Is he all right?
Did he have a big win here yesterday?
Harry? No. Why? Is he all right?
No, I'm afraid not.
Oi, Governor. Here, do you think I could have a bit?
Go ahead, go ahead.
Cheers.
What's happened? Heart attack, was it?
No. Has he had any kind of big win recently?
No. He's never had much luck at all, really. What's happened?
I'm afraid he's been murdered.
Pretty much the loser all round, Harry Joseph.
So where did the 200 quid come from?
Somewhere.
Thanks. You know what, Lewis?
No? What?
We need inspiration. Divine inspiration.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
The Lord be with you.
And with thy spirit.
Almighty God, unto whom all hearts be open, all desires known, and from whom no secrets are hid, cleanse the thoughts of our hearts by the inspiration of thy Holy Spirit, that we may perfectly love thee and worthily magnify thy holy name. Through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Can't you remember anything about him?
Mind if I had a drink?
Swanpole. Swanpole, funny sort of name, innit?
People use all sorts of names, see? Feel better that way, like. Never know who's after you, see?
I'll be after you if you can't tell me a bit more about this Swanee.
I didn't have such a terrible thirst. Oh, God bless you.
When you've remembered.
I did hear Swanee was the vicar's relation.
What, of old Paulin?
Whatever his name is. His brother. That's what I heard. Oh, God bless and keep you, sir.
The blood of Christ. The blood of Christ. The blood of Christ. The blood of Christ.
See who's last in line.
It's the church warden.
The blood of Christ.
If the stuff was in the wine, he'd be dead too. The whole congregation would be dead. Yeah, look at that.
Talk about ritual. He's ritualizing away the evidence.
It must have been Paulin. Nobody else could have put the stuff in the wine.
How did he do it without killing everyone else? Where's his swizzle stick to mix it up?
He doesn't need one. He's crafty. He arranges it so the wine runs out just before Joseph's. So he has to go and get some more, already poisoned. He puts that in the cup.
Chalice. The word is chalice, Lewis. Poison chalice, indeed.
What?
Never mind. You were being quite intelligent there. Go on.
Well, that's it, really. He gives Joseph's the chalice.
From which he, and he alone, then has to drink. Thus murdering himself as well as Joseph.
No.
Very clever, yeah?
He only pretends to drink, then he wipes the rest of the stuff away, like we just saw.
I don't know. So elaborate.
Well, the whole thing's elaborate. Knife and the poison. Of course, if we knew why he'd done it.
Who?
Whoever did do it.
Hi. Well, one person didn't do it. No, this is a mass murder, Lewis, obviously. A high mass murder. Come on.
No bloodstains, nothing. What a swindle!
Come here. It's all right. I shan't bite. This is the house of God, Peter. Murder is a very terrible act. You mustn't treat it as a joke.
I'm very sorry, sir.
Off you go. And don't run.
Peter!
Yes, Dad?
Don't disappear. We're going home in 2 minutes.
Okay.
I saw you in the congregation, Inspector. Any sign of Swampo?
No, sir, nothing. Tell me, this service now, was it the same one as on the day of the murder?
Oh, no. This was a solemn high mass. That was a simple one.
So you didn't have all those people with censers and so on?
No. I administered single-handed. Why?
Hello?
Hello.
Mr. Josephs, as church warden, he was the last to take communion, was he?
Yes.
Who was next to him?
His murderer, I'm afraid. It's a terrible thing to take the sacrament with murder in your heart.
Terrible.
My one consolation in this messy business is that Harry died in a state of grace.
Are the flowers coming on Wednesday or Thursday?
Of all the sanctimonious twaddle, he did it. I know he did it.
But why?
Blackmail, Lewis. Paul and fancies his choir boys. Joseph's had a joint account with his wife. See if he had one all of his own. See if that's how he financed his betting.
They're not allowed to tell us that sort of thing, sir. In any case, I don't
It's
see
all
how
right,
it's gonna...
Lewis. The manager drinks in my pub. And when you've finished here, get over to Morris's, the organist. See if you can pick up anything there. Chief Inspector Morse, CID.
Who?
Inspector Morse, Oxford CID.
I'll press the buzzer.
Hello. Mrs. Rawlinson?
Yes. I'm afraid I didn't quite catch your name. That silly contraption.
Morse, Inspector Morse.
Will you come in, Inspector? I'm afraid I haven't quite mastered that buzzer thing yet. My daughter had it put in while I was away in Switzerland.
Switzerland?
Yes. The Von Fried Clinic, Lausanne. We hoped they might be able to do something about my wretched arthritis. Can I get you something? There's some sherry, I believe, in that cupboard in the corner. If you'd like to help yourself, I'm afraid I can't quite reach. It's Ruth you've come to see, I suppose.
Well, yes.
It's about this awful business at the church.
Yes, Ruth's been most helpful.
You sure you won't have a sherry? I usually have one at this time of the day. Ruth gets it for me. You could keep me company. Where can she have got to?
Let's both have a drink, shall we, while we're waiting?
Oh, you are kind. Just a very small one for me.
Whoa! All right.
Oh, Mr. Morris, I'm sorry to bother you, but we need some clarification on...
I'm sorry, I didn't realize.
It's not that it's bad for arthritis particularly, it's bad for her. Alcohol's a depressant and she gets very, well... I'd rather she wasn't involved in all this anyway. Couldn't you have come to see me at work?
I thought you'd come home after the service.
I'm sorry. What do you want to know?
It's a bit delicate. Mr. Paulen, he's not too fond of his choir boys, is he?
I think he likes them well enough. Oh, you mean... Good heavens, no. Lionel? No. What on earth gave you that idea?
It just crossed my mind.
You've been reading too many Sunday papers.
He's not married.
Nor am I. But I'm not a pervert, I assure you.
As a matter of fact, I'm not married either. Perhaps I could take you for dinner.
Well, you're very kind.
I'm free this evening. How about you? You mustn't let your mother dominate your life, Ruth.
I try not to, but tonight, thanks all the same, but some other night, perhaps. Now I really must go and make her tea. It's 20 minutes late already.
We have quite a few Cambridge men in the Oxford diocese. Before that, he was Stanford Grammar School. I'm afraid I don't know him as well as I should. There's so much paperwork these days.
You keep files in all your vicars, though?
Yes, well, I suppose they are files, but when you say it like that, Inspector...
The file on Lionel Paulin, that doesn't happen to mention any scandal, does it, sir?
Well, now, I rather assumed that's why you came to see me. But I can assure you there's nothing whatever in Paulin's character to suggest any violence. Rather the contrary.
It wasn't violence I was thinking of.
Ah. This is delicate ground. The church, I'm afraid, has a great deal of trouble with unfounded rumor.
What was it? Choir boys?
Nothing was ever proved. Quite the contrary. The atmosphere became so poisoned in his last parish. I must emphasize there was never a shred of evidence, or we'd not have employed him at St. Oswald's.
She'd got nothing on underneath, I could see.
Lucky you.
Paul Morris is a widower, right? Mrs. Josephs is just there for the time being, he says, till she gets over her shock. Well, if you ask me...
Thanks, Lewis. I've got the picture. What about the bank?
Oh, you were dead right there. Paulin's been paying Harry Josephs 500 quid a month for the last 5 months. Special account. Must be blackmail, like you said.
Yes. Yes, Josephs knew about the choir boys. Paulin got fed up with paying him off. But what about this tramp, Lewis? Where the hell is this tramp?
I don't know.
Don't keep saying that. Come on, I need a beer.
You know, I've been thinking, there was an awful lot of that morphine in Joseph's body. Would have needed a lot of wine to dissolve it.
He was last in line.
All the same.
Well, perhaps he always emptied it, so Paulin knew that he'd be safe.
I hadn't thought of that. And why kill him twice?
Panic. Didn't keel over as expected. Started to call for help. Paulin did him with the first thing to hand.
And the tramp?
Just ask that question, Lewis.
Suppose he is Paulin's brother.
I'm not supposing anything until I've had at least 2 pints of beer. You around, Lewis?
Always my round.
Then it's your lucky day. I've just gone off the beer.
Yeah, what's the matter?
I've decided to have an early night. All those questions you were asking, Lewis, we'll try them on the Reverend Lionel Paulin first thing in the morning.
I hope we can see you Wednesday, then, perhaps.
Good morning, sir.
Inspector,
I have a couple of questions I'd like to ask you. About your brother, for instance.
My brother.
Yes, I'm sure you won't mind coming down to the stations.
No. No, of course not. I'll just, my clothes.
Morning. I didn't see you in church.
That's because I wasn't there.
Oh, we'll convert you yet, I hope.
You'll have to give me a lot of your attention here. How's your mother?
Oh, quite a good night, thanks. I only had to move her twice. She can't always turn without help.
Well, what does she do when you're not there?
Oh, I'd never leave her on her own.
Don't you think nurse? You should get a nurse.
We couldn't afford that.
Hello. Oh, Inspector. No. No. I'm afraid she isn't here. She's gone to see Brenda Josephs, I rather think.
Just say I called, will you? Goodbye. What the hell are you doing here?
You wanted to know about the school?
There were two brothers. The other one was called Simon Oliver. A couple of years younger than the vicar.
What did you say this bloke's name was?
Dr. Starkey.
I hope he's not too old to remember.
He sounded all right on the phone.
How long's he been retired?
12 years, he said.
Paulin, from Paul. Saint Paul, probably, or possibly Pavo. How's your Latin, Inspector? Pavo, Sergeant?
I have no idea, sir.
Pavo pavonis, a peacock. Now, of the two, Simon was the one with the peacock nature. Oh, I don't mean a bird brain. By no means. He was the brighter of the two, in both senses.
A bit of a sharp dresser, wasn't he?
Snazzy. What I used to call snazzy. People still say snazzy?
I think so.
Lionel, on the other hand, was sober, hard-working. Beater, every essay. But then he had to work hard, whereas Simon, when he applied himself, alpha. Shame, really.
What is?
Simon would have made a far more charismatic clergyman. Bishop material, I'd say. The school hasn't had a bishop for a long time.
What happened to Simon?
Oh, what always happens to peacocks. They start with fine feathers and lots of pea hens. And then when the feathers begin to molt, Simon took to the drinking trough, broke his mother's heart.
Is she still alive?
No, she died soon after the father. Boys were left well enough off, but Simon, I wonder what has become of him. The old aunt died last year. She must have left them quite a bit, too. You don't know if Lionel left anything to the school, do you? He wasn't married, was he?
No. As a matter of fact, sir, boys will be boys, as you know better than anyone. And I was wondering...
Yeah, I'm glad to say that the school has always been singularly free of that sort of thing.
All the same, sir.
No, there was never any suggestion of that with either of the boys, I can assure you. Morse, that's a good Oxford name.
Is it?
Same as Morris. Morse, Morris, both from the French, Maurice, swarthy. You're the wrong branch of the family. You might have been in charge of British Leyland.
It's Austin Rover now, sir.
Oh.
It was Lionel Paulin's intention, as he expressed to me, to give most of the money away.
And not a penny for Simon Paulin?
The aunt specifically stated that she did not wish that he should benefit by so much as a farthing. I understand he once borrowed from her and, well, he had no legal or, under the circumstances, moral claim whatever.
Then why was he going to bring a case?
He found an unscrupulous lawyer. There are such people about, Inspector. Someone who knew he couldn't win the case, but who could bring about the maximum amount of public embarrassment.
Blackmail?
It came to that. I advised Lionel against it. Simon Oliver Paulin would only have come back and back. Indeed, I rather gathered from something Lionel said, his brother had given him a good deal of trouble in the same sort of way before.
Oh, had he?
She'll be all right there on her own.
Oh, of course she was. Just what she needs. She's been under terrible stress. Anyway, I shall be going down tomorrow, probably. Are you sure you won't have another cup?
No, really, thanks. I have to get back to Mother.
All right. Take care of yourself.
You too.
Go, we can get her.
Peter! Look where you're going! Stop a minute! I'm just coming to the end.
That's all right, Paul. You take your time.
Not in.
Thank you, Lewis. I had managed to deduce that. What does he do when he's not playing the organ?
Teacher's down at the comprehensive, but it's the holidays.
I hope he hasn't gone on his holidays without informing me. He's probably at Mrs. Joseph's. It's time we talk to the pair of them.
Milk cancelled till further notice.
Come on, Liz.
Where we're going?
Scene of the crime. Or the scene of the crimes.
I reckon Paulin must have been carrying these as ballast. They weigh a ton.
Come on, come on. I don't like this kind of church.
What are we looking for?
I don't know. Lewis, do you know what all those keys are for?
No. Have you been up there?
No.
Wanna go?
No. It was. There's nothing down here, so... $55, $56, $57. Oh, you go ahead. I need a breather.
There you go, sir. Fresh air. Magic. Woo! God, what a view! You can nearly see Scotland.
What the hell did I come up here for?
View! You all right?
Fine, fine. Just not so fit as I should be, that's all.
It's the beer.
Just shut up about beer.
What's the matter?
I'm scared of bloody heights, you stupid sod.
Oh, my God. Sir?
What is it?
I'm afraid you'll have to come and see for yourself.
All right, just here.
She's coming right away, sir.
Thanks.
I don't know why they let Morse stay on this case. It's a murder a minute.
Murder, sir?
Yeah.
It couldn't be suicide following the vicar's example.
Well, I suppose he could have hanged himself, then leapt off the tower.
Hanged himself?
He was garroted, Morse. Garroted, then shoved.
Lewis, see if they found the boy yet.
What boy?
He's got a 12-year-old son.
Oh, dear.
At least I hope so.
Afternoon, miss. Inspector Morse is just over there. I'll take you by.
Thank you.
Sir, there's no one in the house, so they're going in with the next-door neighbour now.
Right.
All right?
This is very good of you. Really. I couldn't think of else to ask.
It's all right.
You sure?
It's Paul Morris.
Yes, am I saving you now, over? Yep, it's Herbert Edward Zero. You ever seen him, over?
Excuse me, it's my boss.
What the hell is going on here, Morse?
I wish I knew. Mayor and corporation, is it?
First grass of the year, I sincerely hope. Who is it this time?
The organist, name of Morris. His son sings in the choir. We can't find him.
Oh, my God.
I'm sure boys come into this somewhere. Harry Josephs was blackmailing Paulin about something, and I saw Paulin ruffling Morris's lad's hair, right in there, after Josephs was dead.
Felt free, you mean? Could be. But what about this tramp?
Swanpole. Swanpole is such an unusual name. Should have asked Dr. Starkey at Stamp. Of course. He is Paulin's brother.
What?
S.O. Paulin, it's an anagram.
You mind telling me what you're talking about?
The vicar. He had a ne'er-do-well brother, Simon Oliver.
Simon Oliver?
Yeah, supposed to be a great womanizer. Took to the bottle, you know.
I'm glad to say I don't. But where is he, whatever his name is? And where is the boy?
I hope Peter's okay.
Oh, I suppose so. Nothing there. We know the car's at St. Oswald's.
Hey, Mum, look, his new skateboard's gone.
So it is.
There's someone else gone missing, too. Morris's girlfriend.
Who's she?
The murdered church warden's widow.
Oh, my God, Morse.
No, it's here. It has to be here somewhere, the missing clue.
Better bloody well find it, then.
Enjoy your dinner, sir.
Mrs. Rawlinson thinks she might know where Mrs. Josephs is.
I don't know exactly. She just said somewhere on the river. It was all getting too much for her, you see.
Which river?
The Thames. She talked about Cookham and Marlow.
Mrs. Josephs?
Yes?
There's a telephone call for you.
Hello, Paul. Oh, it's you. What do you want?
Louis. And you. Ruth, could you do something for me?
Of course.
Would you show me exactly what you heard and saw that day?
I was there. Brenda was here. Paul was at the organ, of course. And Lionel was at the altar.
Louis, go and stand by the altar. Can you see the vestry from there?
Just about, yeah.
Did you hear anything?
No. The organ was playing. I didn't know anything was wrong till I saw Lionel suddenly rush down the aisle.
And the others?
I don't think anyone heard anything.
Perhaps they weren't supposed to hear anything.
What?
Nothing. Who were they, these others?
I really don't know. Not regulars. Americans, I think.
Tourists?
We get them all the time. They treat church services as part of old England, like Shakespeare at Stratford, all very quaint.
So, apart from you, the vicar, the organist, the church warden and his wife, and this tramp, All the others were just a bunch of American voyeurs.
Oh, I didn't mean to be unkind.
Did they take communion?
I think so, yes. Yes, some of them did, I'm sure.
Let's get out of here. This place gives me the creeps. Who do you think would want to kill Paul Morris?
I don't know. I really can't think.
You see, unless there's something you haven't told me about, I can't see anyone with a motive. Harry Josephs now, if he was still alive, he'd have a motive, sexual jealousy. And the vicar himself, if he weren't dead, he'd have a motive too. If Paul Morris were blackmailing.
I wish I could help, I really do.
You've helped enough already. How's your mother?
Heavens, the time. She'll think something dreadful's happened to me. Yes. Not the best way of putting it, quite. Thanks so much for walking me home, Inspector. I can't go on calling you Inspector. What's your name?
Morse. People just call me Morse.
Thank you, Morse.
Rose! Is that you, Rose?
Paul Morris. Who's got anything against Paul?
I don't know. I don't know.
There. You're perfectly safe now. You're safe. You're with me.
Oh, grow up, Morse. Go to bed.
I was thinking to
Night
myself...
thoughts are bred of loneliness and depression, Lewis. Ignore them.
I was thinking there might be something in what you were saying.
I doubt it.
About the Paulen brothers. There's 3 of them in on the plot to kill Harry Josephs, the 2 Paulens and Paul Morris. And whichever brother it turns out to be, he kills off the other 2 witnesses.
In order to think about that, Lewis, I shall have to have another pint. Landlord.
Sorry, cask's empty. I'll have to go down the cellar and get a new one up.
Well, hurry up. My brain's just beginning to work.
You'll see if I'm right.
Oh, my God, Lewis. The cellar. The vault. We didn't look in the vault, did we?
This has got to be it. Like there's been anyone down there for years. Want me to go first?
No, it's all right. I'm not afraid of depths.
this boat free? Can I go out in it?
Yeah, sure. Think you can handle it on your own, love?
Yes, of course I can.
All right. Are they still on coke?
No oil. There's a big tank at the back of the churchyard.
They ought to sell that lot, then.
Christ. Oh, there's nothing here, sir.
Thank God for that. I thought perhaps the boy.
Yeah, well, shall we...
Yes. Yes. Lewis?
Yeah?
Up that end just now. Were you as scared as I was?
Well, I was a bit spooked, yeah.
Right. So would anyone be. No one likes coffins, unless you're an undertaker. So, if anyone was going to hide a body down here, they'd use this end, wouldn't they?
But there isn't any way.
Get digging, Lewis. Hold it! Reason. There must be a reason.
Unless he's mad.
No, I don't think he's mad. Psychopathic, yes, but not mad. Not mad at all.
Hello.
Hello? Am I allowed to kiss in the morning, or is it only after hours? Is that all?
Is that all you came for?
I wish it were. No, something crossed my mind. Did Lionel Paulin always wear specs?
Always.
I thought so. There goes another theory. Gold rims?
Yes. Hello, can you just hold the line, please?
Yes, they were in his pocket.
Really? That's rather odd, isn't it?
The suicides always take off their specs before they jump. It's as if they were going to sleep.
Good heavens. Oh, well, I suppose in a way.
Tell me, are you still cleaning in the church?
Yes, of course.
Huh? I was wondering. I thought
The
perhaps
house of the Lord must always be swept and garnished.
Garnished.
Hello, can you hold on, please? Thank you.
Nice word. Garnished.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
What day do you actually get to garnish, Ruth?
Sorry to keep you. Wednesdays, on my way home from work. Were you thinking of asking the cleaner for a drink?
How did you guess?
Then thanks.
Good. See you this evening, then. Look after yourself, Ruth.
Where did you get that about suicides and glasses?
I got it off the back of a matchbox. It happens to be true. If you ever find a suicide with smashed glass in his face, it's murder. Remember that.
I will. Do you think we're making any progress with this case, sir?
Good question. But as my old history master used to say, having looked that problem squarely in the face, Let us now pass on.
Came to stay for a week, she said. Looks more like a month to me. But women.
Looks like she was expecting a visit, eh?
Yes. She had a phone call that evening at dinner from a man.
But no sexual assault?
No, nothing like that. Nothing much in there, sir.
S.O. She keeps writing S.O.
Boyfriend's initials?
St. Oswald's, more like.
Right. And she went a lot every Sunday and a couple of times during the week as well.
Yeah, she had to, didn't she? She had to take her husband. He'd lost his license.
And then his life. Well, thank you, Sergeant. There's nothing here for us that I can see. Lewis?
Nothing.
Off we go, then. Wait a minute. Let me see that diary again. What day was Harry Josephs murdered?
Wednesday, the 26th.
Well, look at that. Remember your Sherlock Holmes, Lewis? Is there any point to which you would wish to draw my attention? To the curious incident of the dog in the night-time.
The dog did nothing in the night-time.
That was the curious incident.
I see.
It's blank, Lewis. The day is completely blank. Where did Paul and Bank?
The Midland.
Bring them. Tell them we're on our way.
Do we really have to go so fast, sir?
Yes.
I'm sure the bank manager will still
Who's
be...
left, Lewis?
What?
13 people at that service. 5 of them are now dead. Joseph's, his wife, the vicar, the organist, and the organist's son. 6 of them are passed on in their tourist coach to Blenheim Palace, Stratford-on-Avon, Bath, Salisbury Cathedral.
Miss Rawlinson and Simon Paulin.
Yes, and one or the other is in mortal danger, if not both.
What was the day?
The 26th.
26. Ah, yes. Conversion of St. Augustine. 13th in the congregation. Signed Lionel Paulin. He was always having odd services, Lionel.
How do people know when there's a service on?
It's in the monthly parish notes.
There's nothing for the 26th.
No? I expect you put up a notice. Announced it in church, maybe. These notes aren't the law and the prophets.
Have you ever celebrated the conversion of St. Augustine?
Yes, I expect so.
Who know about St. Augustine?
Try the Archdeacon. More up his aisle than mine.
Yes, there are 2 St. Augustines, Hippo and Canterbury. Which one do you want?
Either would do.
Ah, just as I thought. Augustine of Canterbury was born a Christian. Didn't have to be converted.
And what about Hippo?
Oh, he was converted. A celebrated sinner. Damahi castitatum et continentium, Domini, sed nolli modo. Give me chastity and continence, O Lord, but not yet. That was his unregenerate motto. Conversion 386 A.D.
What day?
Oh, bother, doesn't say. I shall have to look that up in the liturgical calendar. Ah. There we are. Ah, funny no mention of it.
Try the 26th of last month.
No?
And what the hell was Paulin celebrating?
A personal devotion, perhaps?
To chastity? Not bloody likely.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I thought you'd never come. I'm so sorry. Please.
I'll get you a drink.
Thank you. It's a bad day. Thank you. You're so good to me. Too good. Sometimes I think I've ruined your life.
Don't be so silly. I have a very good life.
Not anymore. Darling, Ruth, do you think we could possibly afford to send me back to Switzerland again?
About time you put her in a home.
Oh, I couldn't do that.
Do yourself a favor. You're still a very attractive woman, Ruth. When you want to be.
Lionel paid for the clinic last time. I can't possibly afford it on my own.
Ah. I see. Well, I didn't get involved in all this just so your mother could go to Switzerland, you know.
I'll pay you back. Really. I'll sell the house when she...
Look. I'll think about it.
Would you?
You make it worth my while.
There isn't time.
Yes, there is. And the boss is away, little Ruthie can play. I thought you could. Have you heard from Brenda?
No.
Well, I suppose she's safe enough where she is. You be careful, Ruth. This business with Paul Morris, I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Don't joke about it.
I'm not joking. You be careful.
Oh, there you are, sir. I got what you wanted.
Harry Joseph's keys to the church. Were they in his pockets?
No. No, what do you
Then
mean?
where the hell are they?
I don't know. Don't you want to hear about Pauline's bank account?
Tell me on the way to the church. $30,000?
That's what I said.
Pauline took out $30,000 in cash?
Yes. Well, that's enough to start a new life. I should say so.
It's certainly enough to kill for.
Yeah.
But why kill Harry Josephs?
What are we doing now?
This is the killing ground, Louis. This is where they all die.
Not Mrs. Joseph's.
It's where she'll be buried, though. No, you stay in the car. Keep your eye on the door.
Hello, Ruthie.
What are you doing here? I didn't hear you come in.
Ah, you wouldn't, would you? I was here already, you see. I was up in the tower. There's a wonderful view from up there. I love looking down on things. And people.
You can't stay here. Someone will see you.
No, they won't. I've locked the door. There's no one here but us. Sit down. I want to talk to you. It's Brenda.
Oh, no.
Yes. I'm afraid so. There's just the two of us left now, Ruthie.
Oh, dear. Poor Brenda.
Well, you or me. It couldn't be anyone else, could it?
I know who you are!
I know who you are, too, you bastard.
Ruth. You all right?
Don't stop, Mr. Morse. The view is wonderful from up here.
Come down.
Not much further.
Come back down. I want to talk to you.
Not much farther.
Must have been hard work carrying a body up here. Look, I understand about your wife. And I understand about Paul Morris. Why did you have to kill the boy?
The bastard took my wife. What if I killed his kid?
Look, this is no place to talk it over, is it?
It'll do. I like it up here.
Look, now that won't solve anything. That's no way out for a man like you, is it? You're not a coward.
You're right. I fight to the end. Not like Paulin.
Look, come on, let's go down. Come on.
I'll come when I'm ready. I know about this, you see. I was in the jungle.
right, sir?
I don't know yet.
Are you all right?
I am now. Why didn't you tell me the truth right from the beginning?
I promised Lionel.
After he killed himself.
I didn't know what to do. I thought... I don't know. I suppose I thought he'd left a note which would explain everything, and then Harry said...
You were afraid.
Mr. Morse, okay?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm afraid you've been an accessory before, during and after an act of murder.
I know.
It means prison. You realize that? You think you'll be able to deal with prison?
Oh, I've been in prison of one sort or another for years. We were well off once, years ago.
Borland paid for your mother to go to Switzerland.
Yes. And for the alterations to the house. He'd been so generous. I know it was quite wrong. Absolutely wrong, but
Your mother will have to go into a home now.
Poor mother. I only did it for her.
Excuse me, sir. The pathologist's all right.
Hello. All right.
Oh, hell.
Pardon?
I said, what a sodding awful life this is.
If they don't take Morse off this case in double quick time, we're going to need a new churchyard. This is number 5, isn't it?
6.
Really? Must be something of a record for Oxford. Want to look at him?
No, thanks. I've seen enough.
The face is all right.
Doesn't look much like his brother, does he?
What?
Swan Paul. Simon Paulin. Not much like the vicar at all.
That's not Simon Paulin.
What?
That's Harry Josephs.
Excuse me, please. Thank you. Sorry. Yeah, apparently he had his hair cut very short, dyed it black. Change of clothes. Dark glasses. You're still sore, is it?
It's hard to swallow. Good beer, this too, damn it.
So you're saying that they were all in on a conspiracy
To kill Simon Paulin and pass him off as Harry Joseph?
Yes. Paulin, Lionel Paulin, was at the end of his tether. He'd already been driven out of one parish by his brother's slanders.
What slanders?
You don't want to believe everything you hear, Lewis. Paulin wasn't interested in boys.
That was your idea?
He wasn't even interested in money, but he had it. Lots of it. And he told his favoured parishioners what his problem was. Now, they all did want money. Paul Morris, he wanted to run off with Brenda Josephs, and vice versa. Ruth, Miss Rawlinson. She... well, her mother was ill, and Harry Josephs, he wanted a new start. Away from his wife, away from his debts, away from people whispering about the collection. And as he was a psychopath, he said to Paulin, "What's the problem? I'll kill him. I'll kill your brother." And he did. All the others had to do was to swear they were at a service that never took place, during which a church warden was murdered. Only he wasn't. And a man that nobody knew except the vicar was. After it was all over, Harry Josephs hid in Miss Rawlinson's brand new flat. I think I'll be more comfortable at home tonight.
You haven't finished your beer?
No, I'm off the beer. I can't think why. You ever read that, Lewis?
Waiting for Godot. No, any good?
Oh, Lewis, Waiting for Godot. You should read it. It's a modern classic. And it had the answer all the time.
How's that, sir?
It's about two tramps. We had two tramps. One went into St. Oswald's, another came out.
No, what I still don't understand is, why did they have to kill Simon Paulin twice?
Oh, Miss Rawlinson will tell you that. Go and take a statement, then get off home.
All right. Good night, that's it.
Good night. Chastity and continence. When did I ever have anything else?
Why did Paulin administer the morphine?
To make him unconscious, so we could change his clothes. It was Harry's idea, and he seemed to know these things, how it's difficult to change a dead man's clothes. And Brenda was working at the Radcliffe. She got hold of the morphine, you see, and...
And you observed all this? The poisoning, the undressing and dressing, the stabbing with the knife?
Oh, no. I was in the lady chapel with Brenda, Mrs. Josephs.
Then, how did you know what happened?
Harry told me later. I didn't want to know the details. I just promised Lionel I'd say the body was Harry's, if anyone asked. And they did ask.
Was that not a very wicked promise to make, Miss Rawlinson?
Yes. But I was so sorry for Lionel. He'd been so kind, and Harry...
Were you in love with Harry Josephs? Even so, Miss Rawlinson, you must have known that it was a very dreadful thing that you and the others were doing.
We're all born in sin, or I wouldn't be standing here today.
Come along, Mrs. Rawlinson. Lunchtime.
Thank you, yes, but I don't really want any lunch today.
Oh, you mustn't be like that. We all have our crosses to bear, you know.
Lionel Paulin was clever, but otherworldly. I think he thought that if we found a knife in someone's back, that would be that.
But of course, there's always a post-mortem after every suspicious death, so of course we were bound to discover the morphine.
And then you think Paulin killed himself out of remorse?
Partly, perhaps, but mainly, I think, because he realized we were onto him.
That's not a very charitable view, Inspector.
I was there at the time, sir.
And your view of Mr. Josephs is still more uncharitable, I dare say, since he tried to kill you.
I try not to let my feelings influence my investigation, sir.
What, in your opinion, induced Josephs to murder the Morrises' father and son and his own wife, Brenda?
Jealousy, sir. Sexual jealousy. With Lionel Paulin dead, Josephs felt free to take his revenge on the man and woman who'd humiliated him. The boy, well, he couldn't be allowed to live with his father dead. It would have been the turn of Miss Rawlinson next. A great many murders, all committed by the man we thought was the very first victim. I myself didn't realize his identity till I saw the tie he was proposing to strangle Miss Rawlinson with.
Exhibit F?
Yes, sir. It's a Royal Marine Commando's tie. Josephs had been in the Marines.
Thank you, Inspector.
Inspector, you heard the conversation between Josephs and my client before he attempted to murder her.
Yes, sir.
Did you, during the course of that conversation, hear anything which might be considered by the court to be mitigating evidence in the case against my client?
I did.
Will you tell the court what you heard?
I heard her tell him that she wanted no more to do with him and that she was going to go to the police and make a full statement, at which point he attacked her.
Thank you, Inspector.
Not too bad with remission.
You shouldn't have done that.
Time will fly. You'll be surprised.
I don't deserve it.
It'll be an open prison, I'm sure.
You're not listening to me.
No.
You're so kind to me.
Probably got an ulterior motive. They do allow visitors in these places, you know. Can I come along and see you sometime? Good.
Good.